Hey everybody, welcome to part 19 of building the R2-D2 from Fanhome. Now in this video we're going to be taking a look at stages 71, 72, 73, and 74. Alright, so we're going to be getting back to work on that frame for the body. We got more of these nice metal pieces that are going to be doing some more framework there. This is really cool. There's a speaker right there. That's going to be the speaker that provides R2-D2's sound effects. Over here we got more parts for the, these are like the little struts for the inside interior framework. And then we have another nice large panel here. And that's also going to have some details put on there. So yeah, this should be a pretty good build. Here's the magazine for issue 71. Let's see, Out of the Shadows. Alright, so looks like they're talking about either comics or cartoons or some kind of animation there. Ooh, that's cool. There's BB-8. Let's see what else. Oh, some more animated stuff. I never watched any of these things. Scara robots. That's interesting. I'll have to read that. So here we go. The body frame is what we're going to be working on. This is one of those levels or stages where you don't do a whole lot. We're just going to be putting the metal frame together, and looks like there's about 3 or 4 pieces to put together, and that's it. Here are the parts that we get for stage 71. So these are all metal pieces for the frame. We're going to be completing that. We have some more of these little connector bits, and we have another one of these because we didn't use this in the last one. In fact, I got it right here. So we had this left over from the last one, so we're going to be using this time. Now, this stage doesn't come with any screws, so you're going to have to dig around in your parts supply, and I think we're going to be using these. They're the silver 4mm screws. This says 2x4mm. They're really tiny. So they're the same ones I used in the previous part of this. You can see them right here. So you just got to match them up that way, since once again, we don't have these labeled, which would have been very helpful. Alright, so we're going to start by putting one of these connector pieces to the piece that we put together in the last video. So just match up the hole right here and put in the screw. These screws are super tiny, I gotta tell you. Yeah, like I said, these would have been very handy if they had labeled these, because it's very confusing, I think, for just about everybody building this. Actually, I'm going to use this one. That other screwdriver is for very tiny screws, and I don't want to mess it up. Alright, so there's that piece. Now we're going to put another one of these on the other side. Line up the hole here. And get that in there. At least this will complete this ring. So that's good. Alright. Next, we're going to put this piece on, and this is kind of unusual. Normally, the numbers for the parts all face the same way, like this. At least I think they do. But in this case, they want you to flip this over so that the part number is on the bottom. And it's going to fit in this little dovetail right here. And then we're just going to screw that on. But yeah, it's kind of unusual. I mean, it doesn't matter. These parts are going to be on the inside of R2, so you're not going to really see it anyway. But I just, this is kind of like got a rounded edge, while this one's got more of a sharp edge. It's kind of interesting. But alright, well, at least that piece is on. Next, we're going to add another one of these connectors to this right here. Line up those holes. There we go. And then we're going to take the final piece right here, and it looks like the number is facing up on this one. And then these are going to fit right in here, or this I should say. It's going to fit right in this dovetail, and this dovetail, like this. And then 2 more screws to hold that together, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so that is now in place. So next, we're going to bring in this piece. This is the part that we were working on last time. And then we're going to make these little, see these little pins sticking up? Those are going to match onto these holes on the end over here. So this is going to go underneath. And you just make sure those pins go through like that. And same with this side. See how those go right through like that? And then we're going to bring in these pieces. These are the ones that we had. One of these we got this time and the one before. Make sure the flat part here goes towards the inside. That's going to match up with those pins as well. And then we're going to flip this over. Now the screws this time we're going to use are the 8mm. They're the long ones. And this is the flathead. See, it's got the flathead on it. They're countersunk screws because you got the countersunk holes here. So let's put that in. Okay. Alright, see how that's nice and flush? And then we'll do 3 more. One there and 2 more over here. So let me get all those put on. I forgot to mention that you have to do this side too. So you got this other piece that's got to go on here as well. So let me put that on here. Just like the other one. Flip it over. And then 2 more screws just like the other side. Okay, and now we got the whole bottom section done. This is a nice little hefty little framework here. Alright, cool. So that takes care of stage 71. Here's the magazine for issue 72. Designing the Past. That was cool when they redid that footage. I remember going to the theater and the line was really long because everybody wanted to see the new footage that they put in of Jabba the Hutt, mainly that scene, which was very cool, I gotta say. In fact, I knew the local guy that does the news. I was really good friends with him, and he did a little interview with me. It was it was pretty cool. Some more stuff going on here. I'm assuming for I loved K2SO. He was funny in Rogue One. I absolutely loved Rogue One. That was such a great movie. Some people didn't like it, but I really thought it was great. Probably one of the better Star Wars movies. Some more cool real science right there. So here we go, R2-D2's speaker. So we're going to finally be able to give R2 some sound. I'm not sure we're going to actually test it in this, but it's cool. For some reason I thought his speaker was in the front vents up here, but I think that's actually got some kind of a proximity sensor. So the speaker goes down here somewhere. It comes out the back of him. And here we can see the little housing and everything. So yeah, alright, so we'll go ahead and get started on that. Here are the parts that we get for stage 72. So the speaker, this is very cool, look at that. Nice speaker right there. And we have the speaker grill. Nice little blue detail right there, and these are going to fit inside this. And then also we have the housing that goes around it. Alright, so let's get started on that part. Next, we're going to drag this piece back out from the last time, this big panel. We're going to attach this piece on. Now, on the back here, you'll notice that there is an arrow right here. See that little arrow? That has to go on the bottom. So this just drops right in like this. And then we'll flip this over. And then we have the speaker grill right here. Now, you'll notice on the other side, see this little piece right here? That has got to go in that little notch right there. So just match that up like this. Okay, and you'll notice that's at an angle. That's the way it's supposed to go. And then we're going to put a single 6mm black screw, the plastic ones, that goes right in the center here. Okay, so let's screw that in. If I get a good grip of it here. It's hard to do this because I got the camera right in front of me. Okay. Alright, and there it is, and on the other side here, see how that blue kind of goes in between there? That looks really good. Next, we're going to put the speaker in place. So we'll take these. Now you make sure the wires go up, like where this flat part is here. And it fits right in here like this. Alright, and then we're going to take that housing piece, this one here, and you'll notice this little notch cut out. That's where the wires are going to fit. So that flat section has got to go at an angle, and you'll match up these holes with the holes here. We'll put this on, but now we got to make sure these wires are coming out of that little notch. Let me see, these wires are kind of close together here. I'm not sure I can get these fit just right. Let me see. I'm going to have to probably press on this to get that right in there. don't want to pinch those wires. Let's see, I got to make sure these holes are aligned too. Let's see, do I got that in the right spot? Looks like it. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, okay, there, that clicked in place. So these this little post, that white post, has got to seat into that black part. But just make sure when you do that the wires aren't getting pinched. So as we can see here, if I can get the lighting on it right, see how that's not getting pinched in there? That's exactly what you want. Alright, so once again we take the black 6mm screw here, and we're going to put this in place to hold all of this together, and then we put another one on this side, and we'll get that all put together. And there it is, all in place. That looks really good. Alright, so that's all there is to do in stage 72. Here's the magazine for issue 73, Designing New Worlds. That's pretty neat. A lot of design work had to go into these movies. Pretty crazy. Very, very creative people to make all of this stuff. Smart cities. We have some of these bikes around town that people use. It's pretty cool. Now let's see. Alright, so body frame supports. This is where we're going to put in those little, these metal supports that kind of, they're kind of like, they go in between the different levels here. So once again, this doesn't look like there's going to be a lot to do in this, but I don't know, this part of it's kind of a downer after building the head that you start working on this frame. It's kind of like a boring part of the build, but I think we're going to start getting into more intense stuff later on, especially issue 82. I think that one's going to be a big one. Here's the parts that we get for stage 73. So we got these nice support rods. They're threaded here on both ends. Get 4 of those, some of these brackets, and thankfully we get some more screws. Alright, so let's start working on those. Alright, so we're going to bring this piece back in now. So we're going to put these big poles on here now. So the easiest way to look is just notice the bigger holes here, and then the bigger holes right here and here. So that's where those are going to go. So now we're going to use these 8mm screws. They're longer and thicker. You're just going to put it in through here like that, and then you just twist this on, holding that screw on with your finger so you can tighten it. Alright, and then we'll just do that for the other one. Now I'll go back and tighten those screws here a little bit here with the screwdriver. Let's see, where's another one of these? These are nice because they screw right in. Alright, let's see. The next ones go right in here. You'd think they'd go further down, like, oh, I'm sorry, I was out of camera range. You'd think they would go further over here, but that's not where they go. Alright, and then we got the last one on this side. Let's see if I can find where that hole is. There it is. Okay. A little bit awkward in this video. Obviously this is unrehearsed. Alright, so there we go. Nice, and then we'll just go ahead and, I'm not going to show this on camera, but I'll just show one. You just want to go back and tighten these up because you want to make sure they're good and tight. Okay, so we'll do that on each one of those, and then I'll show you what's next after that. Okay, so next, now that we got all that on there, we're going to start using these things. Now, if you look at the holes, they're slightly different according to the instructions. These ones are, let's see, which ones are those? These are the threaded ones. They got little threads in there, and they're smaller. And on this side, see how they're noticeably bigger? So we're going to use the side with the bigger holes. Now we're going to come over here to this frame, and we're going to start on this side that's got these things closest to this middle part. And let's see now, which way do we have this face? Okay, so this is going to face towards the inside like this. You want this part facing towards the inside, and then they're going to fit on these two holes right here, like that. So just line those up. And then we're going to use, now once again it's guess the screws. I'm going to use these ones. It's got the larger head on it. They're 4mm screws. I got some that are smaller, but from what it looks like in the instructions, they're using these bigger heads. That's my guess. I don't know, geez. This thing has been kind of a guesswork as far as the screws go. Let's see, do I have that in the hole? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, no, I'm not even lined up. Oh, okay, there we go. My gosh. It's like rookie hour around here. Okay, so there's that one, and there's another one that goes here, so let me go ahead and put that in. Alright, so now we're going to do the other one exactly the same way, making sure we use the bigger holes. Let's see, which one is it? It's this side. And having it facing the same way, and we're going to put it on these two holes right here. Line those up. Alright, and then I'm hoping these are the right screws. It looks like it. In the instructions, it looks like they have the bigger head ones. Alright, so let me put the other one in there, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's finished. Okay, so that's all done now, and that's all we do in stage 73. Here's the magazine for stage 74. Characters and costumes. Oh yeah. Oh man, I bet it was blazing hot in a lot of those costumes, especially that foam rubber. Well, that stuff is not very forgiving on temperature or skin. I used to do makeup. I used to do crazy makeup on Halloween where I worked, and people used to absolutely love it. But boy, I spent hours putting that makeup on, and I got to tell you, some of the latex appliances that I made, oh boy, they were harsh on my skin. Took me about a week to recover from it, but it was worth it because man, people loved it. Even had the firemen come in every year because they wanted to see what I came up with every year. It was so much fun. Really, really loved all of that. Alright, so body panel and details. So we're going to be doing that other panel, and we're going to be putting the details on it. Those little blue vent things that are going to go on here. Oh, and it looks like we're going to attach it to the other two panels that we built. Oh, look at that. We'll have half of the panels done around his body. Okay, that's going to be pretty cool. Alright, well, that's going to be nice to make some more progress on that. Here are the parts that we get for stage 74. So we got that nice big body panel piece right here. And we also have these blue pieces. These are going to go behind those the little grills, which are these pieces right here. And we also have one of those cuff pieces that goes on this part. Alright, so let's get started on this. Okay, so now we're just going to put this little cuff on here, just like we did on the other side. It just kind of fits on here. I think we're going to screw that in a little bit later. Next, this little vent piece goes together, so you just match up these notches with these tabs, like that, and the holes go through. And then these tabs fit inside these holes. Let's see, do they snap in? I'm having a hard time getting this second one in. Alright, well, let me see if I can snap this in place here. Okay, I don't know why that was so difficult to put in, but it was. Alright, so now these are going to get screwed in by the 2 by 4mm black screws. These are the really small ones. And once again, you just got to measure these to know which ones you're supposed to use, because it does get very confusing on these things. Okay, and then another one goes right in here, so I'll show you what that looks like when I got it in there. Okay, so that is now in place. So next we're going to work on this piece. So this blue part goes in this way, like that, into these little holes here. There we go, they go in at an angle, and then, let's see, this is going to go in like this. Now it goes in at an angle as well, into these holes. Let me see, there we go. Okay, good. Alright, so now we're going to put 4 of the 2 by, let's see, what were these? 2 by 6mm screws. Okay, so these ones are slightly longer than the ones we used earlier. So let's go ahead and get that going. These go in at an angle, so it's a little awkward. Okay, and then we just got 3 more to do, and I'll get all that finished. Alright, so that is now in place. Next, we're going to put these brackets on, so let me grab these. Now, if you'll recall, there was an arrow on one of the sides. See that arrow? This time we're going to use the side that doesn't have the arrow. And it's going to go right on here. Alright, and then we're going to use the 2.3 by 6 millimeter black screws. These are the bigger ones. Put it in there. Once again at an angle. Alright, and then we got the 2 other brackets, and then make sure you put the arrow on the outside. So that goes here, and then this one with the arrow going this way is going to go right here, and then 2 more screws to hold that in. Okay, so those are now all in place. So now we bring in this big chunk right here that we were working on earlier, and now we're going to actually attach all of this together. So just make sure you align all of these together like this. Alright, and they said to start with the bottom one here. And we'll use the same screws to put this in. Now you'll notice the arrows are now lining up with each other right there. Okay, and it's kind of hard to get a grip on this. Let me make sure that those get aligned properly as well, because I had a problem with that on the last one. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to get the other 2 screws right in here, and that should put all that together. Alright, there we go. That completes stages 71, 72, 73, and 74. This is great. We got this whole half of R2's body all done. Look at that. That is nice to have half of that done. We got this framework going on. This is really heavy. You know, this R2-D2 is going to be super heavy when he's done. I think this thing is going to end up weighing a ton, and somehow this is all going to fit in here. I'm not sure it fits this way, but that's going to be the structure on the inside like that. Wow. Really awesome. I love it. This kit has been really, really great. But yeah. So yeah, we got, 84, 94, so we got 26 stages left. 26 more stages to go, which is about another 7 months, I'm guessing. By the time I finish this, I'll probably end up finishing this in August of 2023 is my guess. So, but anyway, this has been a really fun build so far. I hope you're enjoying this series, and if you are, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd very much appreciate it. And I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. So thanks again, and have a good one!